Hey everyone, it's Mike here, Global Voodoo, and this is Resellers Roundtable, episode number 14. We're bringing it back live after a year hiatus. If you don't know what Resellers Roundtable is, it's a Facebook group on Facebook. You can Google it. You can go to YouTube. You can go to Facebook. You're going to find the link. It's a free Facebook group designed to help other resellers out there, right? We've been doing this for years, talking about reselling, talking about making money, whether it's eBay, whether it's Amazon, whatever it may be. It's basically one of those things where we're just a bunch of resellers out there trying to help each other, make some extra money down the road, whether you're part-time or you're full-time. Hopefully tonight you're going to learn some tips and tricks. We got a lot of cool cats in the house tonight. Let's get to the people that are in the house here. We got two people that haven't, I don't think, been on live with me before, but we're going to get to somebody we all know, and it's the Banhammer, Mr. Mike Nagel, dude. Mr. Nagel, dude, tell us what's going on, dude. By the way, you look great, dude. You lost some weight.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's the reseller diet of not having any money in my account. No, I've just been working out, drinking a lot of water, reselling, going out every day. That's pretty much it.
So, Mike Nagel, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Uh-oh. Something popped up here. Hold on, but link this ad. All right, so you can hear me. What have you been up to, dude? You moved from Las Vegas to Cleveland, right?
Yeah, I'm working on my house out here that I bought and trying to get the whole time management thing down between remodeling and reselling and, doing that whole thing. And, yeah, it's been quite an adventure so far.
That's awesome. So that's such an extreme experience going from the West Coast to cold Ohio, right? How's that been for you in terms of reselling? eBay or Amazon? I mean,
okay.
Or...
All right, so I found like a diamond in the rough out here at the thrift store that I've never found before. I found a vintage 90s Ralph Lauren Polo P-Wing sweater, and it's like the hand-knit ski sweater, and found it on half-off day for $5 at my Savers down the street, and flipped it within 10 minutes for $581.50 shipped. I've never done that before.
Wait, $500?
$581.50.
Silly.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, that's a once in a lifetime score. Since you're kind of humble bragging, dude.
Yeah.
You also sold something probably within the same couple days or the same week. What else was that?
It was the same day, actually. I sold a vintage early 80s Motorhead No Remorse Raglan baseball jersey tee that had never been worn. And I sniped it on eBay for about $600, and I flipped it for $1,000. So that was a pretty good day or two.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, that's why you go thrifting, right? I mean, a P-Wing sweater. Let me ask you this. When you first saw that at the thrift store, were you like, oh my God, dude, did you know what it was, or did you had no clue?
Okay, I knew what it was. I just didn't know how valuable it was. Because I've found P-Wing stuff before, like the ski jackets and stuff, and that brings in, maybe $100 because it's not as detailed. But, I mean, this thing had the solid, giant P-Wing logo, like a varsity letter that I had never seen before. And it was on a rack of new clothes getting ready to be put out. I went through a couple different hockey jerseys that were beat up that I was thinking about getting, and I went through to the end, and that was the last thing on the rack. I grabbed it, left, and that was it.
Dude, that's just killer. I mean, that's why you go out thrifting, and that's why you look for these treasures. And tonight we're going to be talking a lot about like vintage type stuff, right? Because we got some people here that's how they're making their money, right? On eBay, Etsy, or even Mercari and stuff like that. Let's get to Art. Art's a good friend of mine. Art's a guy. Art, you live where? New York?
Yep, New York City, Queens.
So New York City, big freaking pimping, spending cheese, dude. All right, Art, dude, tell the people that are listening right now, like, how long you've been reselling for. Just kind of a quick bio.
I've been reselling somewhat actively for about 5 years. I've been fully full-time for almost 3 years. And I do most of my inventory comes from storage units. I do try to incorporate all the other strategies that most of which I pretty much learned from Mike. and helped really refine the process. That's pretty much it. I was working a full-time job when I first started, and just kind of went all in. And then when I got laid off, I said thank you, thanks for the severance. I bought a van and just started full-time reselling. We already had the infrastructure in place.
That's awesome, dude. So, like, Art, storage units. I mean, I threw out a couple videos of me and you talking about storage units before publicly. That some people saw it, some people didn't. But me and you talked behind the scenes and everything like that. And I mean, the opportunities with storage units these days is not like how it was 3-4 years ago when all that storage war stuff came out there, right? Can you talk to people right now and tell people that there's truly an amazing opportunity out there with storage units? Because right now, for the record, I mean, dude, Art got me back into storage units. I mean, I've been buying some since I moved to Arizona. I'm working the angle, doing whatever it is, but I'm finding these deals, guys. I mean, $25 units, right? It's like, dude, it's like sitting at the blackjack table, right? Going, let's just throw this $25 out there. Who cares, right? Just so you can maybe find a treasure or two. Art, can you talk briefly about the opportunities with storage units? I mean, you're in New York, so I know there's a lot of competition, but there is opportunities out there, isn't there, man?
Yeah, there definitely is. We've talked about this more in depth over time, but essentially, the business has changed from what it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago before the shows. I came in with the wave of newbies, or as one guy calls them, the new jacks, the new jack wave of the shows. I came in with that, so I got to see some of the madness, but I kind of just stayed calm. And now things have really calmed down. I mean, there's a lot of elemental changes. So one thing you have to understand, you couldn't sell this stuff like you could 10 years ago. You had to rely on a store or flea market. Now we have all these advantages of online, Etsy, Amazon, eBay, your own site, the apps. And the reality is that there's a lot more volume. I think the storage unit industry in general is still growing somewhat. I know in the city where I do most of my buying, I mean, they're 97% occupancy. They're now building another building, and there's always room. And so you just have to. There's opportunity for those who are willing to work, who are willing to learn. Put in the effort. It is a commitment, but one thing you will get with this business is volume, very significant volume.
Yeah, the cost of entry, it's depending on the unit you buy, is there. I mean, you can accumulate a lot of stuff quick, right? And it's a lot of work. That's the biggest thing. And for anybody that's listening live right now, or maybe at a replay, and if you want to hear more about storage units, just leave a comment down below. Let us know, and I'm sure maybe me and Art will be talking about that pretty soon. But Art, appreciate having you on here tonight. Let's talk to Cody. Cody, Cody's been out there making videos, guys, and I really want to really stress this for the simple fact that, I don't know how old Nagel is. Probably what, 54? Nagel?
Yes, my late 50s.
Art's probably what, 32? I'm 23.
Getting into the late 30s, getting in there, slowly but surely.
But I've known Cody for some years now, and Cody is just, I mean, a young kid out there hustling, and that's where I was so excited to have the show, and I'm like, Cody, you want to be a part of it? He's like, yeah, dude, because I really want to share his story here, because his story is like all of our stories, guys. I mean, anybody can really go out there and crush this and make it happen, and put money on the table, support yourself, support your family, and go out there. But Cody, dude, give everybody a background on yourself. How old are you? How long have you been reselling for? Just give us a bio on what's going on with yourself, man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm 20 years old. I'll be 21 in August. I've been reselling since going into my senior year of high school, so going on almost 4 years now. I first started doing reselling as a part-time thing because I needed to find a job for the certain class that I was in high school, just to get out of school earlier. Basically, that's the only reason I was in it. Get a job, get out early. Hey, works with me. But yeah, I got a job at Five Below, and I was doing eBay and learning about Amazon at the time, and started building up that hustle. And after about 8 months, 10 months, no, it was about 10 months of working at Five Below, I decided to, and it was at the end of the school year, I could end my job there. I stopped doing that, and I went to basically reselling full time. And I went to about a full semester of college, and I decided, hey, school's never really been my thing. I was going for a master's in business management. I decided just to take this reselling to the next level and actually go 100% full time, no school, just straight up going out there hunting.
So Cody, what kind of platforms are you selling on? Are you doing eBay, Etsy, Amazon? Kind of talk about that, and maybe kind of what you specialize in. I mean, you specialize in one particular thing, or are you just looking for anything you can make a buck on?
Yeah, I sell on. I first started off on eBay, probably like mostly everyone in here. It's just the easiest thing to learn. Did eBay for a while, then I learned about Etsy. Started putting my vintage clothing that I started niching into. I really like finding vintage apparel from the 90s, 80s, just anything that looks really cool from around my age group. And yeah, I sell on Amazon as well. Amazon's a beast. I think we all know that as well. Also started branching out into some other phone apps. There's Mercari and this new one that I just learned about, and it's Depop.
What's that app again? Can you say it again, Cody?
It's Depop, D-E-Pop, P-O-P. Just another something that an Instagram follower told me about. He messaged me and asked me if I knew anything about it, and I said no, I'll give it a try. And I listed some like more rare items up there, like some vintage Guess jeans, or not, they weren't Guess jeans. It's the Guess jeans brand, but listed 2 Guess polos on there and a Polo Bear T-shirt, and I sold all those within, I think it was at 18 hours. I had about like $115 gross revenue on that one app.
Nice. So Cody, let me ask you this, right? With all the opportunities that are out there, you're in Texas, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Now, there's a lot of competition in Texas, I'm assuming, right? There's a lot of people that are out there running around and hitting the thrift stores, the weigh-in pays, the estate sales. What do you think? I mean, obviously you specialize in the vintage stuff. I mean, you're pulling the old Tommies out, the old Tommy Hilfiger stuff, obviously the Ralph Lauren stuff, any sports gear related. Is there a reason why you're grabbing that rather than a 4XL Brooks Brothers shirt that's $9.99 at Goodwill?
I really don't like going to Goodwills. I mean, I will go to them, but the Brooks Brothers shirt just doesn't excite me like finding a vintage graphic T-shirt or a vintage concert T-shirt or champion jersey or any kind of just vintage item that just, when you're on the clothing rack and you see something that just like catches your eye, that Brooks Brothers T-shirt, yeah, you might be able to flip it and get some money for it, but it's just plain Jane. It's nothing really exciting. Really do this for an extended amount of time, you really have to find stuff that you really enjoy finding and resell that.
Yeah, I mean, you can make good money with some of these brands, and they will jump in if you want to jump in with this. But likely, in my opinion, if you know what you're looking for, there's zero competition with vintage to some extent, right? I mean, maybe somebody might have the same, shark tooth snapback hat as you, right? And they're at 38 and you're at 40, and you go back and forth. But a lot of this stuff, it's that rare that when you find it, the market's kind of wide open. You're really waiting for that one buyer. I mean, Cody, what's your thoughts on that, dude? I mean, don't you find better opportunities and higher profit margins going after the vintage rather than some generic Patagonia shirt or maybe even to some extent Blazers, right? I mean, Blazers, they're long tail. They can take forever to sell. And there are people on eBay right now selling them for $3.99 shipped. Oh, you got Zegna? Yeah, we got Zegna. $3.99 shipped. Buy it now. That's how eBay goes to some of these brands, right? But Cody, can you talk about that? I mean, what steers you in that path? Obviously, it's the passion, stuff you found when you were a little bit maybe younger, or maybe you're like, hey, I kind of like this era of 90s kind of hip-hop fashion wear. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I just really enjoy finding that 90s fashion, late 80s fashion style. If you look in my closet, it's literally basically all I have and own now. I've basically decreased everything else that I own. But yeah, I'd rather say, like, going back to that shark tooth hat, logo athletic shark tooth snapback, I'd rather have that and fit on it at a certain price and have a best offer, or put it up there for that certain buy it now price, and I'd rather wait on it just because I know there's that collector just like myself. If it was a team that I wanted to keep, anything Dallas, that's usually what I keep. I'd rather just wait out there and get that certain price, because I know collectors will pay high price for these certain items, and after you resell a certain amount of these brands and that look and that style, you understand the price points and what you can move certain things at what price, and sometimes how quick, you know. And I want to answer a quick question. Someone asked a question about Depop. You can meet someone and sell to them on Depop, or you can ship the item out. You can ship globally, or in the U.S. or globally, international shipping. You can do it. It goes straight to your PayPal account, so it'd just be like printing an eBay label.
Nice. Is there any fees associated with that, Depop?
I think there is fees. I think it's. I'm trying to think. I don't know the exact percentage, but for this one $50 T-shirt I sold, I think they took around $4 for it.
Okay. So it's not like it's Macari where there's no fees yet, but is there traction on there? Is there an audience? I mean, people are shopping. You can make some money right away.
There's a lot of traction on there for sure. I basically just have like maybe 20, 30 items out there at this moment, but really I see sellers that have like 100,000 plus followers on there, and they're just moving stuff super quick. Really blows my mind. I see a lot of success with the sellers that have people modeling their clothes, just because I think people like to see that aspect of someone wearing it and what it would actually look at on body, other than having it on like a flat piece of like ground or on a mannequin. There's some big sellers on it.
So what's your thoughts with that, Cody? And maybe I can get you involved, Nagel, and art with, you know, clothing wise. I mean, do you guys do everything on a mannequin? Do you have a model that comes in? I know Nagel probably has some hot looking women that come in and model a P-wing sweater like that. I mean, for you, Cody, is it mannequin all the way? Is it laying it flat? I mean, there's so many different ways to sell these things. But, you know, when it comes to the vintage stuff, a lot of times, if you look at some of the very successful sellers that are out there, there's a vibe, you know what I mean? When you look at the pictures, like, whoa, dude, it's like an aura that comes off, right? Somebody maybe, it's got some girl or some dude that, you know, that hippie, I don't know, you know what I mean? How do you photograph your stuff, Cody?
I have a mannequin. Sometimes I'll put shirts on mannequins, or if it's like a polo T-shirt, I'll have it laid flat like you'd possibly see at like a department store, and I'll take the cover picture like that, or I'll take on my mannequin, I'll take it from a different side angle. You know, I like to change it up. I like to experiment and see how things go. No set way that I like to do it.
Just really depends on the piece then, you know, of how you feel, what the vibe might be. That's cool. Really quick, for you guys that are watching live, really appreciate all of you guys watching live for sure and commenting back and forth. If you have questions, leave them down below. Even when the show's over, you know, leave them down below. We're going to look at those. But, you know, Cody, you have a YouTube channel, and you're making videos, man. You made some vlog videos. You know, you show some haul videos of stuff that you've picked up. Link in the description. Cody there?
Yeah, sorry, you were cutting out. I heard you talking about my YouTube channel, how I did some haul videos and some vlog type videos, and then you kind of cut out. Is that basically what you're going with?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you fine now.
Cool. Yeah, we're having some storms here, but yeah, the YouTube experience. You got a channel out there. I put a link there. You can check it out. And are you planning on making more videos, Cody? I mean, what's the future hold for Cody, so people can subscribe and check out? I know you do. You know, you show a lot of the vintage wear that you have out there, and I think, and you got these daily vlogs that you were doing for a while. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely want to keep making videos on YouTube. I have not uploaded in maybe 2 weeks or so, and that's it's all on me. That's my bad. I would love to get back on the track. Just trying to find that correct format of what I like doing. I've been cataloging some things that I've sold to make some what's sold videos on certain genres, and you know, just trying to find that right form. I know YouTube is a very powerful platform, and I'm just trying to go out there and brand myself and try to get more exposure.
Sweet. And last question for you, Cody. And we got some more stuff going on. The power of social media, dude. Like Instagram, and you mentioned this Depop, right? That's kind of the wrecking force, isn't it? I mean, if you're not on top of these things, you're not on top of these trends, especially with vintage wear or appealing to others. I mean, you can legitimately sell things outside eBay. I mean, this is what I want to stress, and maybe talk about it a little bit, Cody, because a lot of people think, oh my God, I've got this Ralph Lauren polo shirt. The only way I can sell it is eBay, right? Do you find that you have to build up a presence socially, whether it's a Twitter account, Instagram, or Facebook? I mean, you can sell things to people without fees, right? Without the eBay giant coming in and taking 30% of your money. But what's your thoughts on that, Cody? I'm just interested to hear about that.
Yeah, I think there's a great opportunities out there for people to create their own Facebook group, their own Twitter page, or Instagram. It's all about growing that following of like-minded people that like the certain type of things that you do, or they like to buy the certain type of things that you do. And if you could go out and find a certain item that same day and flip it on one of those platforms other than Amazon, eBay, or Etsy, and sell it through PayPal without any fees, basically, that's a golden ticket every day. I mean, if you can get those certain repeat buyers that are looking for that item, you're golden. I mean, if you can find that out, I think that's a great formula.
Nice. One more question for you, Cody. If somebody's getting into this game right now, and because they maybe listen to this video, and they're saying, I don't know anything about vintage. I don't know what Ralph Lauren vintage is. I don't know what Tommy Hilfiger vintage is. I don't know what you're talking about, guys, but you're saying things, and maybe in the Resellers Roundtable group, and you see us sell for $50, or maybe you're special like Mike Nagel, and you get a shirt for $1,000. What advice would you give to somebody who's starting off right now, that are going to thrift stores, garage sales, flea markets, to identify the difference between vintage and what's recent? You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, so basically what I'm doing when I'm looking through a clothing rack is I'm just looking straight at the tag. So I'm literally going like this. It's a finger movement, you get it down after a while, but basically you look for the tag. Dead giveaways that it's vintage would be made in the USA, 50-50 cotton blend, polyester blend, if there's any kind of a cotton polyester blend. Those are dead giveaways. Usually vintage t-shirts are not screen printed tags, so the tag wouldn't be like an actual tag you could move. Sometimes you will find vintage t-shirts like that, but it's kind of hard to come across. Basically, also, you'd want to really research what you're buying. You don't want to go out there if you're a beginner and just start buying everything that looks cool and appeals to you. Because just last Wednesday, I went out with a friend who was wanting to get into doing this just for a side hustle. And I kind of just let him roam free because I was out doing my own thing, and he grabbed maybe 10, 15 shirts. I think he left with maybe 2. I said no to a bunch of them. I think if you do that at the beginning, yeah, grab everything that you like that looks cool, put it in your cart, but then take that time if you are a beginner and go and look it up. Go to the eBay, look up the sold listings. Don't just see what people are asking for it. Because if you start piling up clothing, it really could be a bad thing, especially if you can't move those items.
Totally, yeah. I mean, Jay Tizzle says in the comments, good question, I feel like I leave a lot of money on the table because I'm not sure the vintage is valuable. Same with antiques. And I think it's just over time, right? I mean, if you're really looking at this market and you're going, hey, I want to get into this, obviously the Resellers Roundtable Facebook group, I pretty much say we pretty much dominate anything vintage clothing-wise. I mean, without a doubt. I know there's a lot of Facebook groups that are out there, but if you want true expert advice for free, you can obviously go in that group and post a picture of a shirt, a tag, and you're going to get some honest answers from people. But other than that, I mean, it's a lot of it's trial and error. I mean, you go out there and, I've seen people that are new that, that will go, oh my God, I found this Queen shirt from 1976, and it's a dead giveaway. You see the tag, it says like cinder block. You're like, no, that's not vintage, right? Thanks for trying, but it's encouragement. Don't feel like people are hating on you because people in the Facebook group say it's not vintage. You're learning something. It's an education. We all had to go through this. I mean, when I was doing this, guys, 15 years ago, right? I mean, there was nobody to turn to. There was no group. There was nothing. So there was a lot of trial and error and a lot of what's vintage? What is this shirt vintage? Is this clothing vintage? And it was just trial and error. And I think nowadays the learning curve is a lot easier for somebody to learn this. But again, it's going to be an education. You're going to have to buy it yourself and see. And again, remember, I mean, Mike Nagel, I mean, you do a lot of vintage stuff, a lot of vintage T-shirts. I mean, some of this stuff just takes time. You got to find the right buyer. I mean, Nagel sells Pearl Snap vintage shirts, dude, like a boss. I mean, he'll get 35, 40 bucks from him, dude. I'd be like, dude, I can't get rid of that for 12. You know, right, Nagel? I mean, it's this takes some time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then people are trying to sell these ones that Walmart sells for like 14 bucks for like 30, and they're wondering, why isn't my shirt selling? You know, it's people can tell the difference between a really good vintage Pearl Snap shirt and the new ones. I mean, it's people need to go out and do their homework. They really do. And you only learn that by going out and actually spending time in thrift stores, looking through stuff, you know, going through, looking at everything. Because I didn't know overnight what to look for. There was no YouTube. There was no Facebook. I just kept going out and looking and finding stuff. So.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing coming down to whatever we're talking about, right? I mean, it's just real-world experience. Now, there's ways to, you know, cut down your learning curve. There's a lot of great YouTubers out here, a lot of videos talking about a lot of things, and there's Facebook groups, and there's paid courses, and all these different things. It's all designed to help at some extent, but at the end of the day, I mean, if you want to get your feet wet, dude, you got to jump right in the freaking pool, right, Art? I mean, you want to learn about this shit, you got to jump in the pool. I don't care if it's fucking 20 degrees, right? Art, you jump in.
You jump into a storage unit and you learn the hard way.
Yeah, right? Perfect example, right, Art?
Go through everything.
Storage units is a perfect example, right? You might be saying to yourself, man, I've heard these storage units, Mike's talking about them, Art's talking about them now. Guys, I picked up 4 units the past week for $30 a pop. Dude, I don't have to worry about Dave Hester. Who are these other guys? Right?
Yeah.
Jared ain't over here, dude. Dude, Jared ain't coming over here with Brandy telling me they're going to bid up to $1,100. Right? You got to just jump in that water, dude. It might be cold. It's going to be super cold when you get in that storage unit game. But when you get in that game, dude, you're going to learn. And that's how you learn this business, Art, right? You got to get your feet wet. So if you come across 1,000 DVDs, 500 CDs, 25 Polo Ralph Lauren shirts, or 100 Supreme hats, you're going to learn the business, right, Art?
Yeah, well, that's actually what happened with me, is that I bought a room and the guy happened to be collecting vintage shirts, really 90s stuff, but I basically had to go through all of them, pick out what's worth selling, what's not. And he had a few stuff that was $50, you know, good sellers. I put it all on Etsy, and I kind of followed the advice. I think I even contacted Nagel, tried to sell him a Austin 316 shirt. He was like, "I'm busy, but that's $85 all day." I got like 60 or something for it. Yeah, but you know, and that gave me a quick experience of figuring out. You know, this okay. So this is like a little quick educational course on vintage shirts. Now I know. You know, right off the bat.
That's the best way to really kind of get into it all, right? Is just jump in that water, find these products, sell them. Whether they're dude, if I'm at a garage sale, right, and I know nothing about Matchbox cars, and this guy's got like, and I turn him, he's got like a box full of like 500, right? And I say to him, how much are these? Oh man, I'll sell the whole box for $30. By the way, these were mine when I was a kid. You look at this guy; he's a 50-year-old man. It probably is a smart bet to make that buy, and then figure out the Matchbox niche. I mean, do you guys have niches, Cody? I mean, what's your? I mean, Cody, obviously you have the vintage niche, right? But everybody here has some kind of niche. Nagel, what's your niche other than these $1,000 T-shirts?
$1,000 T-shirts. No, the wrestling stuff.
Yeah, the wrestling stuff. Another topic we could talk about. I mean, Art. I mean, Art's got a local game that's pretty amazing, and we could dedicate another hour or two just talking to Art. But Art, you have a local game where you set up your own garage sales, right?
Yeah, I have like a micro flea market operation. Mm-hmm. I have an email list and just regular customers I've built up. Because I generally just know how to cater to them. A lot of it is price, but just like you, I'm pretty big into the video games. Mm-hmm. So I specifically have that section, and I have a lot of regular customers that come by for that. And just really anything I'm into. Like one thing, like I noticed with Cody, he's somewhat emotionally involved in the items he picks. Like he likes it. you know. So when you add some character and real emotion, personality to it, like it shows when you're selling it, because also you put in the care into the product. So I really pick stuff I'm really into. A lot of it's really related to gaming, you know, action figures. Like I know cool stuff, and that I know the customers will like, and I know what price to give them. So I think that's pretty important in terms of setting up a niche. But in terms of like product, yeah, I mean video games is the stuff I go the craziest for. That's what I really want.
Oh, me too. I mean, if you look at the video game market in general, it's some of the fastest selling things ever on eBay, or even sometimes, you know, with Amazon. I mean, you can get a Mario game, Zelda, dude. It just like it gets checked in. It's like it goes pending.
Yeah.
But like yeah, you gotta if you guys are listening right now and you're going, oh my god, I know nothing about video games, go on the Resellers Roundtable group, right? Post some questions, and we'll spend some time talking about it, right? There's no doubt about it, because you should really be looking at them, whether they're Atari games all the way up to PS4 games. But
dude, I mean, I'm telling you, I showed everybody in Resellers Roundtable that haul I got at Goodwill where they clearanced out the Target's clearance for $1.99 a game, and I bought like probably 120 of the games. I don't have any left in my Amazon store, and it's only been 3 weeks.
No.
So
Those are like my replenishables. It's really games.
yeah.
Just I keep, and I think I ran into at one point where I was like, oh wow, I think I actually have a good stockpile, and that was gone, you know, because either I'm just blowing it out of my garage sale. I pretty much sell almost all my systems in my garage sales for cash. I don't even bother with online. You know, I know how to bring in the people, and trying to get more of it, hustling the deals as much as
and that's important, dude, because I mean, if you look right now, and if you have game systems, you might really want to consider selling those locally, because you go look at like just on the Amazon or even eBay, dude. I was looking up eBay yesterday, and I almost vomited in my mouth when I looked at the N64s, what they're selling for. I'm like, are you kidding me? People are willing to sell an N64 system for $33, the $24 shipped.
Wow.
Dude, I sell these locally for $40 to $50. Locally, dude. I don't have to pay fees. Art, I mean, you just said it earlier about, you know, when you build that clientele list, I mean, people start coming and buying systems, or they start saying, hey, Art, dude, you got any Mario games this week, man? You know?
I have a few guys that are like really I'm friends with, but I just do trade deals with him now. And he hits up all the garage sales. He's a collector, and he's like, listen, I'm tired of selling on eBay. I don't want to deal with these trade groups. I mean, he basically, like, he has perpetual credit with me. So sometimes when I get something interesting, I just say, do you want it? Here, come and take it, you know. And he's bringing me good stuff, $20, $30 games. Mario that he just doesn't care for, but he finds it at the sales. I tell him, you get it cheap enough, just pick it up. So,
Yeah,
and the thing, like the main important, he actually, when I had a really good Saturn game lot, and I think it had like the 2 most expensive games with a Saturn, but that actually went to his friend, and I felt more comfortable trading that out to his friend. You know, just because this stuff is kind of high risk in a way, because it's expensive. I don't want to get scammed, and he gave me some cash and some merchandise I was more comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of people. Everybody these days is so consumed with e-commerce and eBay and Amazon, and with the video game stuff, man. I mean, if you're not in these Facebook groups, or you don't have built up a local market for it, I mean, you're really missing out. I mean, the best way I could describe it, 14 years ago, right? I was sitting there on Craigslist, or maybe it wasn't Craigslist. I don't remember. But anyway, I was at this guy's house in South Barrington, Illinois, and because he had original NES. I think at the time it was $30, and if you bought it, you picked up 2 games. I rolled up to this guy's house. This guy lived in like a $2.5 million home, and I pull up to this house. I'm like, damn, dude, whoa, what's up with this? And I meet him out there. I'm in his garage. I look at his garage, dude. It's covered in games, every system. And I realized, I'm like, dude, this guy is the powerhouse out here. This guy, and all he did was local. Yeah. I was there for an hour picking out games. I think I dropped like $200 buying all these old games because I was like, man, this reminds me of my childhood. And in that meantime, I watched 600 people come there just throwing cash at this guy, dude. And I told myself after I left there, I go, I need to figure this business out. You know, I really got to figure this business out. And that's when I realized, you know, video games is an excellent market. It's an awesome niche. But don't always think it's always about eBay or Amazon, you know what I mean? Because people will pay for this locally, man. I mean, there's no doubt about it. All right, yeah, so I want to touch on a topic here tonight, and then we got some items we want to show. But I want everybody's opinion that are on the panel tonight to talk about, you know, there's always this fear as a reseller, whether you're part-time or especially if you're full-time. With your full-time, there's always kind of a fear in the back of your mind, like, oh my God, what happens if I can't pay this bill? What happens if, you know what I mean? But it's the mentality of not being afraid to fail, right? I think a lot of people with reselling, they come and go. I mean, I'm looking at the chat tonight, and I see some familiar faces for sure, but I also see some people that are new. And it's the interaction I've seen in this reselling space, whether it's my YouTube channel or Resellers Roundtable. People come and go, and it's because there's a high fallout ratio for people. They just can't. I think it's a get-rich-quick thing. It's like scrolling on Facebook. Before I got on here, I looked at this sponsored ad. It was like, I started with $100 on my credit card, and now 4 months later, we are doing $10.5 million a month on Amazon.
Wow.
Right? And that's the problem. I mean, it's a problem. I mean, there's people in this.
You link me a course?
Yeah, of this nonsense. But if it was that freaking easy, man, everybody'd be doing it, and nobody. I mean, think about it. Anyway, don't be afraid to fail, because you're going to buy things and you're going to learn how things are, right? You're going to learn how fast things sell or how slow things sell. But I think the biggest thing is just not giving up. Believe in yourself that you can actually do this. And you know what? And you can, whether it's your part-time, whether you just want to make $200 extra a month, trust me, you could do this, right? Anybody can really do this. This is not like some freaking, surgeon, right? I mean, you're buying and reselling, right? But Nagel, maybe can you talk about it? I mean, there's always a struggle with this business to some extent, but if the first time you failed at reselling and you just gave up, I mean, where would you be now? I mean, maybe working at I don't know.
some shitty 9-to-5 job working for someone I probably hate.
Mm-hmm.
My boss is already a big enough pain in the ass right now. I don't think I could deal with someone else.
Yeah, I mean, it's the craziness, right? It's like, but I want to motivate people here right now that are listening, going, hey, wait a minute, I'm trying to resell, and maybe things are kind of, hard and they're new, that it's a learning curve, man. I mean, it could take you a good 6 months to a year to really get the hang of this. I mean, what do you think, Cody? When you first started, you listen to everybody, you probably listen to me on YouTube, were you thinking, oh my God, dude, I'm gonna pull in $20,000 this month, dude? I'm talking Bentley in 2 months. I mean, what's your thoughts, Cody? I mean, it is a struggle, but is it something that legitimately you can make money on?
Yeah, for sure, you can make money on it. You got to know what you're doing. You got to be educated. You got to understand what you're buying and what you could expect to get out of it. And you were one of the first people that I watched on YouTube about reselling. I think it was you downstairs in the warehouse. You were showing vintage T-shirts, and Bulls, and graphic concert shirts, and all that stuff, and then your snapback hats. But yeah, I forgot the question.
Here, John Johnson, he kind of brought the question back here. Failure is fine if you learn from it. I mean,
oh yeah,
if you got to fail to learn, right? Nothing is going to come right now, tomorrow, the next 6 months, like a freaking paved gold road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Today, I went out to a couple thrift stores in my the area that I like to go, and usually I do really well over there. But today I went out, I searched for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I came home with 3 items. Whenever you're doing that for a full-time income, it's kind of sad to come home to that only 3 items. But you can't get discouraged. You have to go out the next day or go online and look for deals, or you just have to go back out there and just keep hitting it and keep hustling, because if you give up, I mean, what's there to show that you just gave up, or you keep going and just say you're a success?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that comes down to you and your personality. Do you have the motivation? You got to keep listing, you know. But failure is going to happen, and it's okay to fail, right? I mean, anybody. If you look at anybody truly successful, they've failed at some point, right? They've totally failed, but it's how they get back up, and how they keep attacking it, right? I mean, everybody goes through some depression or whatever, or like, oh my God, I couldn't pay all my bills this month, or I set these goals for myself and I couldn't reach them. It's how you react to that and attack that next month. How you can make it happen. I mean, right, Art? I mean, you've bought storage units that were just like, oh my God, I thought this was a winner. I dropped $500 on it, dude, and it was a bust, right?
I mean, I didn't drop $500, but I just bought the one that I showed you that spent like 5 hours of my life dealing with this madness, and it makes you question your ability. There's some storage units that will literally make you question the business, where you just want it. It happens to everyone, and you're just like, why am I doing this? Should I quit? But you just have to, you have. I try to look at more like an analytical perspective, whereas that you're gonna have these variations, and you just gotta go through it. You just have to either adjust your decision-making process or just say it was the correct decision, and it just is what it is. If you stick with it, you know that the long-term outcome is positive.
Yeah.
Like there's certain, if you want to act like an idiot and go bidding crazy because you saw Barry on TV doing it, okay, maybe you deserve your outcomes are well deserved, which is you going completely bust. But you just have to trust in your business model, and if your business model is wrong, then that's what's going to happen. So I think that's the best way to get above doubt. So face reality and either adjust or just understand times are tough. I mean, I'll mention this. I mentioned it briefly here and there, but my online sales, like right after the second week of June, they went dead. Like my eBay literally, right now I think it's down 70%. I have no idea why. I've been through this a couple of times before, so I know it's cyclical for the most part. It's also because I think I had a good May, so they kind of do their blackout things. And I just had to make a decision, like, look, I got to cut back a little on expenses, and I'm pumping out garage sales as much as I can. I had one of my most successful garage sales a couple of weeks ago. And I had a little, like VIP sale just this past Sunday, and a couple of weeks from now I'm gonna have another full garage sale. So I'm really just adjusting and getting through the summer period. That's really it, doing whatever you can.
Yeah, I mean, there's there's so many learning curves with all these guys, and there's so many ups and downs. I mean, in reality, I mean, people just make it sound so easy reselling. They really do, and there's a lot of people that are just out there doing this, and you're gonna learn the hard way whether you like it or not. Whether you want to pay somebody $1,000 or somebody $10, right? At the end of the day, you got to go out and try it for yourself and see. But this is work. This is work. I mean, this is work, man. And you really got to love what you're doing, and that's why I love doing this, and that's why I love coming on YouTube and being part of the Facebook group and everything else I do. It's just that this is my life. I mean, this is all of our lives, right? We do this every day, day in and day out. I mean, we don't come on YouTube here and start showing things and start talking about things we really have no idea about. I mean, when you're watching people on YouTube, guys, that have been around for maybe 3 or 4 years, and they're talking about all these different crazy things, they're doing it for one reason only. I mean, views, right? I want to be known as the eBay guru, man. I want to be this Amazon guy. But when you find the realities of what's going on, regardless of what happens, is that believe in yourself. Listen to what everybody's saying, right? If they can make something make sense, if something they give you makes you a lot of money, that's awesome. Go for it. But then they really listen to what people listen to who you're listening to, right? Because there's a lot of people out here claiming to be who they think they are. But if you really found them online, you don't laugh and go, dude, are you being very serious with yourself? You spend more time on YouTube than you do reselling, dude. No joke. I mean, anyway, let's show some items here, guys. Nagel, you want to show some items, dude? You pick up anything recently?
I did. I got this really cool vintage Coca-Cola grilling set. It's got the spatula with like the Coca-Cola bottles on them. You can put that into the burger. It's got the tongs, and then it's got like the bottle cap. Got the bottle cap tongs and the fork, and it's in relatively good condition. There's like no chips or anything. It's like I said, it's got the vintage Coca-Cola bottles, which is really cool. I picked it up and it's got leather straps on it, so it makes me think there's a little bit of age on it. I picked them up at the Goodwill for $6. I have no idea what I'm going to sell them for because I've been looking online and I cannot find this exact set anywhere. So I'll probably throw it up for like $75, $80 and see what happens.
How much?
75 or $80.
75 or $80. I'm gonna hold you that, dude.
Just because it's so clean. Like if it was a rusted out piece of crap set, I'd probably throw it up for $15 and free shipping just to get rid of it. But I mean, it is in very clean shape, and I have not seen this set anywhere. So I'm thinking it's from the early '80s to mid '80s.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's cool. Fine, for sure. I mean, people with cokeheads are crazy. Legitimately. No pun intended. But here's the thing. I mean, I understand that stuff sells. I mean, they make stuff like that where it's like a Denver Bronco logo, right? And then people have picnics and backyard, patio parties, and the dad comes up. Hey, I got the Bronco burgers. Whoa, dude! How'd you get the Broncos logo in the burger, dude? Well,
Right.
that's why I spent $10. So somebody's gonna buy that. I'm curious. But keep us posted on that.
I may even take it with me to Vegas next month because there's like a lot of people who go out there. They got the giant Coca-Cola store on the Strip and all that crap, and I'm sure I'd probably do better in that market than out here.
Yeah. Well,
I think-
either or. I mean, how much did you pay for it? $18?
I paid $6.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hold you to the fire on that one, dude. You got to at some point here, as these live shows keep going on.
Humble brag.
Resellers Roundtable.
Humble
Yeah,
brag.
it's a humble brag by Nagel, and I have faith in him that he'll probably sell it for some good money. There's no doubt about it. We might be 7 years old when it happens, but we'll see. All right, let me show you guys something I picked up recently that it's actually two things really quick. As you were talking earlier, storage units. I bought a storage unit 2 weeks ago. Really stoked about it. Made some money really fast with a lot of the stuff that's in there, but I found like 2,000 records. And I was like, dude, this is cool. I love records. Now, the problem is I'm fanatical at records, so I take my time with them. I actually listen to every single one of them, right? It's very important for me. I know it's like, why, Mike, would you waste your time doing that? But for me, when I'm listing things or I'm on my groove or I've got the girls over here, we're listing, I mean, I got a record spinning. It's not like I've got YouTube rolling out or I'm listening to the next True Blood, right? I mean, so it's not really a big deal, but it's important that you can do it either way, right? But either or with records, I listen to them, so take that for what it is. I'm going to show you guys two records here that I maybe had a couple pennies in them. But this first one is, and this is, Philippine Airlines, the in-flight sound, right? Now, you might say to yourself, dude, who the hell would buy this, right? There's like Aloha music and stuff like that here, guys. And if you look this record up, they sell for about $15, $10 to $15, $25, give or take, depending on how many are in the market. But people eat this stuff up, guys. I mean, there are people that are tired of listening to freaking, Rhiannon and Drake. I mean, how many times can you keep hearing Drake talk about how he's balling, right? I mean, there's a whole movement for records, and we all know this, but this stuff sells. And so here's the other one. Again, I have them all in plastic sleeves. They're ready to rock and roll. I'm telling you guys, I've had great success selling Hawaiian records, Polynesian music, right? And actually, it's relaxing for me to listen to them. Honestly, I don't really want to sell them. But if you're out and about and you find these, whether it's an estate sale or storage auction or whatever it may be, I mean, these could bring $10, $10, $20, $30, depending on what's going on with them. So, don't overlook records, guys, but also understand how to grade these records. Understand there's a whole, like I said, there's a movement for records, But the thing is you got to know what you're doing, right? Because if you don't, and I want to listen to track, Moon of the Mana right? That's why I paid $20 for this thing, and I go to play this thing and it's skipping all over, dude. I'll be pissed, right? You're gonna get negative feedback. You're gonna get some bad news. So, anyways, guys, I think the records in general, if you're out there hunting, they're overlooked big time in the reselling market, especially at the garage sales. I mean, I've gone to garage sales and somebody will have this crate of like rock and roll from the 80s and 70s. Yeah, man, I used to smoke this and do that when I freaking used to pound Doobie Brothers in the record player, right? The people now are buying this stuff, and there's a lot of valuable records that are out there. So, just don't overlook stuff like this. That's my 2 cents there. Cody, you got anything cool you want to show, dude?
Yeah, I got a couple items. You want me to show them all at once, or should I show one thing first and then the other one's just like 2 hats?
Yeah, show your 2 real quick, and we'll go through them, and then.
All right. Well, first thing is this Nike windbreaker, gray tag, late 80s, early 90s. I'll show you all the tags so you can know that. That is known as a Nike gray tag. Not the best lighting, but that's a tag from the late 80s, early 90s. I actually bought this windbreaker from one of my followers or someone that I follow, same difference, on Instagram. He had posted it up, and I was talking to him. And he told me the price. He said $23 shipped, pretty good price. And right as I read that, I had sold a polo shirt on eBay for $23. So I just took that as a sign and said, all right, I'm going to buy it. But here is the windbreaker, this classic color blocking. Got the nice teal colorway with the black and whites. Nike on the chest. Pretty sweet. Has a packable hood. Realistically, I could probably get around $40 for it. I'm actually going to end up selling it because I got it and it didn't fit me right. But hey, doesn't matter. I still got a good deal on it. The other items that I'm going to show, some hats. Here is a Nike red satin snapback. This is also probably from late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around that era. Really nice. This is
Cody, can you show the hat one more time? Just open up the inside because that's a true giveaway with a lot of the vintage hats. That white flip down, I don't know what they call that.
Like the thing that holds it up, and I don't know. Also, this little rope right there, that's usually something you'll see with like the 80s hat style. Here is I think this is Apex One, or no, this is a NHL Twins hat. This is a Dallas Stars. This is a really sweet style hat. It kind of reminds me of a certain brand called The Game, big logo styles. Those hats go for like $100. This one's not that, but really sweet design. Got Texas on the back. Really nice. And then lastly, I got this at an estate sale last week. This one is stained. This is something that I'll wear. I need to clean it. This is something that I'll wear. This is in the collection of stuff that is dead stock new with tags that I have shown. The Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl hat, dead stock, logo athletic, new with the tags. Really sweet. I know Joseph Day, the Profit Boss, will really appreciate the Cowboys Super Bowl hat. That'll be
cool, man. Yeah, great finds for sure. Kind of going on a humble brag, right, Nagel?
Yeah, I wish I would have known. I would have been able to show more than one item.
We're going back around. One more time. Art, do you have anything you want to show, dude?
I just have one quick, but it's
all right, cool.
Going vintage. I got a legit antique. It's a coffee grinder by Columbus. It's in Columbus, Citizens Wholesale Supply Company in Columbus, Ohio. So they sold.
Ohio.
Oh yeah, there you go. I don't think they're in business anymore and haven't been, but. I think these were made between 1900 and 1920. They actually made them because people were buying a lot of their coffee. So I found it in a storage unit, like kind of off the cuff. The storage unit was really just some decorative and household stuff, candles. It was from a guy who had an event company for weddings. I don't know why he had that in there. Mine's in pretty rough shape, so I'm only asking like $100+. But if this was in mint condition or restored, it's like $500 piece. But it's
really
just, Yeah, it's really interesting. I threw it up. I see how it goes. It didn't really concern me in terms of whether I made money on that or not, because that's not why I bought the room. But it was just interesting to find it and research it a little. So and actually claim I got a legit antique because more than likely it's over 100 years old.
That's cool, man. And there's so many people. Like, I mean, just the coffee market is massive. And if you can find any antique related to coffee right now, I mean, it's off the charts. I mean, so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, mine you can't really use. I don't think it's worth the restoration. Like the better condition you could use it, but I'm advertising it locally because Williamsburg not that far away, and there's a ton of hipsters and coffee shops. So I'm really it's a yeah. So I put it both online and locally. Let's see who bites first. But really, I'm advertising as a great display piece, like for let's say for your kitchen or your living room if you're big into the coffee thing, or a coffee shop. Or if you want to do a restoration project, because it's definitely a project. But I would.
Have you tested like your local bed and breakfast in your area?
I don't really have. I mean, listen, I can just go to Williamsburg when I go to my mechanic and just sit out there and say you want to buy. Honestly, there's actually the certain flea markets. This would be an easy sell, and probably more than I could get for it online. But that's a selling project, and that's really just kind of. If you guys ever see the show Flea Market Flip, and they sometimes go to Brooklyn Flea, yeah, you could probably ask like double retail for this thing there, because it's insane. But yeah, maybe when I go to my mechanic and I have it, I'll bring it. I go there to hang out in a coffee shop while he works on the car, and I'm gonna try to sell it to them. Matches their wood, so.
That's cool, dude. I love finding antique stuff. I mean, for me out here in Arizona, you would think, dude, it's Arizona here. There's so much history, but finding some of this true antiques is pretty difficult, no doubt. Some of you guys, like in the New York and Cleveland area, are blessed. And Texas too. All right, so back to Nagel, dude. Next item you got.
All right. So since Cody likes showing hats, I like showing hats too. I got a vintage dead stock 1990s Dick Tracy hat with the tags.
Whoa.
And the movie.
Mike, I got 2 Dick Tracy T-shirts. If you're looking to buy them,
no, I'm
well. You can make a
good.
bundle.
It took forever to flip my last Dick Tracy one.
I got it.
But this thing's cool. I mean, I got it on half off day. I paid $3.50 for it, and this thing is mint. It's got the tags and everything, and got a cool logo. And you can tell it's old because, yeah, like Cody said, it has the thing, the rope right there, right by the brim. I think I can get anywhere between 20 and 30 for this. It's just going to depend on if I want to wait or not. And then the last thing I have is this really cool Porsche model that I found. I think I paid like $280 for it. And this thing, the box is a little roached. I don't know if you can see it. The box is a little torn up, but everything inside. Let's see. Everything inside is still in plastic. It's still brand new. So there's only one of these on eBay. It's even got like the decals and everything. Still brand new.
Come with the car.
Huh?
Come with the car keys.
Yeah, I wish, dude. But like, there's only one on eBay, and it's partially built, and it's going for like $40 or $45. I think possibly because this is with the box and everything's brand new. I think I can get somewhere between probably 90 and 100 for it.
Is it made in Japan?
It's a 1988.
Yeah.
Made in Rockford, Illinois.
Oh, I'm only asking. I deal with a lot of those. You likely will get a buyer from Japan or Australia.
Hey man, that's cool with me. I don't mind shipping it.
Yeah, they're good. They're good customers for that. They love the model kits.
Especially when they're brand new, so they can put them together.
That's true. That was a big thing back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I remember like all my model kits from when I was a kid, but they were nothing like this. This thing is like really intricate.
It's for the adults.
Yeah, this is seriously for the adults. This is a bad boy right here. That's all I got, Mike. I'm done humble bragging.
You got
No,
muted.
no more bragging, dude. Come on.
I'm done with the bragging.
Let's
Right
see.
there in Rockford, Illinois, Mike.
All right, let me show you guys.
I'll give you a discount. I'll sell it to you for 70.
I was never a big fan of Rockford. I'll be honest. If it said like Cary, Illinois or something, I'd probably buy it, but Crystal Lake, but
But I'll only get $20 if I take it there.
that's true.
I'm looking for that $100 bill.
Let's see here. Okay.
Well,
All right.
Are we still doing items or no?
All right. So let me show you guys my last item here, and then whoa. It's
Hello.
going on. Let me go back here. Can you guys still hear me? See me?
All good.
All right. Ooh, this is creepy. Okay. All right. Everything's good.
Yep.
All right. Double check something. I'm trying something different here. All right. So here, I found this, guys. Let me tell you a quick story on this. I was at the pawn shop over the weekend and selling some junk silver, some beat up necklaces, some pendants. Just trying to get some money out of the deal from some storage units. And did my camera lose out?
No, we still see you.
Okay. So anyway, this one pawn shop I go to, they sell video games for $5 a piece. Okay, and they don't really scan them. They're not concerned about Amazon or anything of that nature with it. So they're $5 a piece. So I'm working out the silver deal. In the meantime, I'm looking and I'm like, dude, I spotted this game. It's called Stupid Invaders for Dreamcast. Right? And I'm just like, dude, I know this game, dude. This is like 30 to 40 to $50 and up. And for a couple bucks, dude, I just grabbed it, And it's actually right now, this is a better opportunity to sell this on eBay versus Amazon, And it's the craziest thing in the world, man. If you really truly believe that when you leave outside your house and you're saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna find something today. I'm gonna find some opportunity. Right? This was what's today? Tuesday? This was Sunday. Sunday, I'm at this pawn shop. I look around, and I'm always looking at this guy's case of games. And he never has anything good. And there's just this game sitting there. I'm like, dude, I'm in. I'll buy it. And that's why I think it's important a lot of times when you're out there looking around that you should go walk in the pawn shop and see what they have to offer. Right? You never know. I mean, they're not on top of everything. Or you build a relationship with them and you can work out some deals, but use the pawn shop on two different levels. I mean, I talk a lot about the selling to pawn shops because why not? Why not get stuff right now and sell it to somebody within an hour or two, right? It's all just about building relationships and understanding things, but the stuff's out there, man. I mean, if you just dig around. So I thought it was a cool find for sure. Because I love video games. Let me share with you guys here something here that. For anybody that wants to, actually, can't start video. Oh, gosh. All right. Try something different here. I'm going to throw a number in the chat here for anybody that wants to kind of call in and talk really quick with us while we get into some of the other things we're going to talk about, some Q&A stuff.
I got an item to show. What happened? I thought we all showing like 2-3 items.
Oh, dude, go back. Dude, you show the item, dude, while you show the item. Magic.
All right, this came from a storage unit, but not an auction. It's my guys purchased it privately and picked through it. It's a Robotech figure from 1989. And I've been looking at it. I know like the series Robotech a little. It's pretty cool, but this is like older vintage stuff. I can't find this exact figure on eBay. I can only find box only. So
how much is the box going for?
box is going for $30. The guy has a watcher on it, but mine is this thing is used. I think this guy was like a dealer in the city. He was selling it at one of like the better markets before he had to put all the stuff into storage, and he just happened to have some figures. This one's completely unrelated to almost the rest of the stuff he had. So, and it's not often I find something. I can't even find the proper image for it. Like in the box, because this was kind of really more catered to the Japanese market, because back then they didn't really respect the American fans as much as they do now. If you know gaming, you know that to be true. Like, they just wouldn't release a lot of the stuff here because they thought Americans are stupid and wouldn't appreciate it. So I don't know. I thought it was. It's not often I find something that stumps me, but I'm putting it up for 75 or best offer or whatever. It's not in the mint condition. It's got issues. There's decals. He used a lot of them on here. You can see the box. I mean, it's got shelf wear. It's definitely beat up.
Yeah, but I mean, if there's no other ones listed,
Nope. There's similar ones. There's whole.
doesn't matter though.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically this happened. Maybe this one was a little under production numbers, but I think it's just luck of the draw. This one happens not to be up. I mean, this thing brand new. I think people are asking like 100 to 200 for it. So, I think used with box. We'll see how it goes. I'm not being greedy about it, honestly. I thought this was a bonus from what I found. But it's cool. It actually brings back some memories because I remember like when I was younger, just happened to see some of this stuff, and like you don't get to watch it often because it wasn't really meant for the market. And like, wow, this is so cool. It's like the Japanese sort of version of Transformers with their own touch.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool. All right. All right. So we showed some items. We're good with that. Let me ask you guys a question really quick. How do you know when to adapt when a product or an item or a niche is becoming saturated, where this is not selling as fast as it used to? Maybe you got to look at that and say, I got to get out of this particular market. You guys ever dealt with that before? Or Nagel, you ever looked at something where you kept buying it and going, dude, I'm killing it, and then all of a sudden, like, it tanks?
Yeah, because people like sitting doing hour-long videos about that specific brand. No, like, you know, Ralph Lauren Polo has really changed a lot over the last few years. It used to be really easy to go ahead and, you know, buy a polo shirt, flip it real quick, and now I'm noticing it's taking more and more time, even for the polo dress shirts. I think Polo is one of those very overly saturated companies. Same thing with Harley Davidson lately. It seems like Harley Davidson stuff isn't selling as fast or for as much money as it used to either, because the whole market is really saturated.
I think that's a tough question to answer as well. Like, if you've been selling in those certain shirts or those certain items, it takes some time to realize that the market's dried up, and once you realize that, you better liquidate what you have, and sometimes you might even have to lose money if you have a certain amount of items just to get out.
Do a bulk lot and get out of it at once.
Yeah, it's adapting to it, knowing when, hey, my gosh, these Harley shirts are sitting forever. I got to do something with this. I got to get rid of them, right? You know, and that's going to lead me to my next question. Art, before I get into that, Art, do you have any opinion on when to get out of a niche? Like, I mean, have you had that happen to you where you're like, oh my God, I've got to get out of this. I'm too deep in this, and this stuff's not selling.
Yeah, I'll answer that, and then I gotta run. So
Cool.
the wife's already clamoring on me. I have to deal with this constantly because we're often getting this inventory in bulk, and it bases my buying decisions. Used to be a lot more active on clothing. See, DVDs. These are the niches that really have went down a lot. So DVDs, I have to be much more selective. I have to know my genres, which luckily I've learned over time. Clothing, I think you and I, Mike, talked about this. I mean, I used to put up Gap and Banana Republic on eBay like it was nothing, you know, and expect $20-30 for the items, and that's all out of the game. I think one of the biggest thing overall is brand name clothing just went out the window. You have to be very picky and selective. And with the stuff that I had, I do have a different disposal method. I just throw it out of my garage sale for $1 or less and just get rid of it. I have been at this point, I find myself just utilizing the clothing bins to donate stuff that I used to put up online. So it is what it is. You do inventory clean out, and you understand what you want to buy, what you don't want to buy. One thing I've learned is the stuff is always changing. And listen, there might be a day when Apple is, you won't even be that interested in Apple products because they've become so polluted with all the stuff they're making. I actually recently learned that Beats headphones are nothing like they used to be. You know, they were not nowhere near the hot ticket item. It's like it's becoming a pretty much marginal item due to them overproducing. So I made a little mistake on that, and now I know not to really overpay for them or anything of the sort.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of oh, is that an echo? Ooh. All right, I got too much stuff going on. All right. Okay, the echo's gone, right? Yeah. All right, to sum it up, the dealing with the saturation and understanding the fact that things you're buying aren't selling like they used to. I think you've got to. Oh, am I frozen?
No, we can see you.
Good.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, geez, dude. I'm doing 8 things at once. But to sum it up, really, at the end of the day, I mean, when an opportunity is there and you see that it's coming to a crossroads, you're like, oh my God, dude, I can't keep picking up these Brooks Brothers shirts, or I can't keep picking up, these coffee mugs that used to sell for $30, or this handheld game. Yeah.
Stop making fun of my coffee mug.
Dude, I'm not making fun of mugs. Dude. I'm just saying that, like, when something gets saturated, it's like you got to adapt and move on from that. But keep your radar still on and look at these things on the road, because we've seen so many times over and over here on YouTube, especially. I mean, people, 4 years ago, people were talking about coffee mugs that they're making millions of dollars, and every person that talked about a damn coffee mug no longer talks about a coffee mug.
I still talk about a coffee mug.
Well, sure, but you know what I'm saying, man? I mean, Felix the cat ain't gonna bring you $30 anymore, man. Okay? You got to look past things, and you got to understand that when these things are not making you money, you got to move on from them, right? I mean, it's like it's so easy in this game to be like a hoarder of things if you're getting great deals with it, right? And hopefully in the coming weeks with the show, we're going to be talking about dealing with, a ton of inventory, how to deal with this inventory, right? How can you realistically get all these things listed? We're going to be talking about these things, but I think to go back to what I was saying, you got to stop and just say, listen, I can't keep buying jeans. Right? I mean, I understand. I got a great deal on Levi's, $1, but man, if they're not even bringing you $10 anymore, your time's worth something. And a lot of people can't understand that. They can't understand change. They're so set in their ways with buying from thrift stores and garage sales and flea markets that they don't even realize that it's putting them out of business. And that's why I wanted to make that comment and talk about it, how to adapt towards it all, because so many people are in this trap right now. So many people are on just listening to YouTube videos thinking, oh my God, well, so-and-so is successful selling Brooks Brothers. So-and-so is successful selling freaking, coffee mugs. But in reality, these people aren't, right? And if it's not working for you, you've got to put the freaking thing down, man. You can't. You got to move on to something else. I see you guys are asking a lot of questions here, and we're going to get to a lot of them here. Art, I know you got to go, dude. I really appreciate you being a part of this, man. Art's in the Resellers Roundtable. The guy's got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to storage units. There's no doubt about it. If you have any questions, I know Art would be more than happy to answer your questions about storage units. So, Art, I'll give you a final word before you got to go. I know you got a boogie on out there. It's New York time. It's probably what? About 11.
11, and I'm getting heat on the phone, so I gotta get out of here, get home. Yeah, no, just glad to be a part of it. I know it's been a while since we've done anything, so hope to see more of these soon. Yeah, and if you guys ask a question, I guess just try to tag me, or just I'll do my best to help answer it. Without going into a big, huge story.
Heck yeah, dude. Thanks
All
again,
right.
Artman. Thanks again, dude. Artman, you rock. Dude. You provide a lot of value to a lot of people. And I think a lot of people don't even know who you are, and I'm happy that you're here tonight so people can learn who you are because you have so much information to give. So thanks, brother.
All right. Guys, good night. Have a good one.
Right.
All right, so this next topic I want to talk about, guys, there's some questions coming in here. I threw a phone number out there for people that wanted to call in, and something got crazy messed up with that. But anyway, there's let me talk to you, Cody, about this really quick. We talked about this earlier again, and I want to stress this fact about vintage with people, right? That if you understand the vintage and you understand what to look for, there's opportunities there. But I really want to hear your opinion at 20 years old. I'm 40, right? You're 20, and you're in this game, dude. You're knowing what the vintage stuff is. You know how to pick it. Can I ask you this one question, dude? Will vintage ever get flooded?
No, I don't believe so. I think there's always going to be that demand for that certain look. People are always going to want to go back to that style that they had. Things regurgitate, 90s are a big thing right now, that look, that style. That's around the years that I was born in 95, so just living it up.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, is it flooded? It can't. True vintage cannot be flooded because a lot of true vintage is really hard to come by. I mean, how many times are you going to find a Tommy Hilfiger vintage shirt? I mean, sure, you might find them all the time, but when are you going to find, like Nagel found a P-Wing? I mean, these are, you know what I mean, Nagel? I mean, what's your thoughts, dude? Because this has been a staple in my business for, 15 years.
Here's the thing about vintage. Like, they can reproduce it as much as they want, but I think people at the end of the day want the real thing.
Yeah. And they'll pay for the real thing. I mean,
Absolutely.
You said it, dude. The P-Wing, 10 minutes, $500. I mean, I've sold concert shirts like that, dude. I mean, we've all done this where it's like, whoa, but we know what we're doing. We know what this thing was worth, and we put it out there. We weren't giving it away.
Well, especially the Motorhead shirt that you wanted to give me $300 for, that I told you would sell for at least $1,000.
Yeah. Like Treasure Trove says, memories are priceless. Vintage. I mean, it's something I think everybody should really look at instead of just fascinating on what other people are talking about. That you should really look at your game as a reseller and really consider the vintage, getting into that vintage market. Because that's really, at the end of the day, sustainability and longevity, right? And I'm sorry. I mean, I can't see.
I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, you can't learn it from a YouTube video. You really can't. You have to go out and experience it out in the wild because, I mean, I don't know if either of you have dealt with this, but I have found so many fakes that are like trying to be vintage that aren't real, and you have to be able to tell the difference before you waste money. And nobody on YouTube is going to tell you that. Nobody's going to show you what you need to be looking for and stuff. And specifically, it's just a big mess when it comes to vintage because there's people not even talking about vintage stuff that you should go out and buy. And it's kind of annoying to me.
It's a good thing that nobody's out there yapping about it, right? Because even they're probably sitting there right now with their notebooks, writing it in. Next video comes out next Wednesday. This is how you spot vintage. Trust me, it's coming. Okay? But no matter what they do, or who's out there with the bullhorn talking about vintage, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. It's never going to get flooded. It's never going to be a problem if you're truly grabbing true vintage. There's a question here from Brian. Do you list true vintage in the true vintage category or in regular categories as used? For eBay, yeah, it means true vintage. I'll put it in the true vintage. A lot of you guys know I've moved all my vintage stuff away from eBay to Etsy. I find better opportunities there. But I do sell some stuff vintage on eBay, and it's predominantly the best market, honestly, probably for vintage. I mean, wouldn't you guys agree? I mean, Cody, I know you sell on Etsy. What's your experience with Etsy?
I love Etsy. Last night I sold it was within a minute of each other. I had two sales of some vintage windbreakers. One was a bulk purchase. Someone bought two windbreakers from me. That was $40 shipped, and then or $45 shipped. And the other one was like 15 seconds later. It was another windbreaker that I paid maybe less than $1 for. Etsy's great. I love it. It's the best place to sell vintage, in my opinion. Different,
Yeah, I mean,
way different type of buyers. Night and day.
Yeah,
on eBay.
there's activity on there, and as Cody says, it's 20 years old. Selling for him over there, and maybe it's something you guys want to consider doing, right? Again, with this vintage stuff, guys, I mean, nobody's going to go out there and spill the beans because they can't, right? They just can't. That's the beauty of it. That is the secret behind Global Voodoo's channel. If you really go back and deep down 5 years ago and you look at what I was talking about, it hasn't changed. So that should be a big wake-up call for you people that are not looking at that. Right, Nagel? I mean, dude, the game hasn't changed, bro.
Dude,
Only the players have
it seems like you've been ahead of the curve of everybody who's coming out with this new content. So, I mean, it's really crazy to see videos from like 4 or 5 years ago repop up as new on someone else's channel. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's people now talking about Amazon like like it's brand new, and it's like, dude, you go look at some of these older videos. Again, I mean, we're not coming out here trying to say, dude, we know everything. But if you truly are looking for some true free information, I'll just say this, without a doubt. There's obviously my YouTube channel here, but there's the Resellers Roundtable Facebook group, and there's a search option up in that, right? It's one of the oldest Facebook groups out there for reselling. And there's some serious history there with a lot of people that spend a lot of time in there helping others. And, at some point, of course, I mean, I'm not here to discourage people and say, dude, you can't make YouTube channels because, everybody's got their own vibe, everybody's got what they're doing. But the people that are sitting there trying to charge, there's people sitting there with a smile on their face trying to tell you guys how to make money. Right? But at the same point in time, they're not even doing it. They're just randomly looking on eBay. There's people that dedicate videos, hours of their days doing this, guys. It's insane, right? But these shows are not dedicated to bashing people. It's more of just educating people, right? And there's going to be some entertainment in these shows that are coming out. Entertainment, some education. There's some learning opportunities here. I truly appreciate all of you guys that are watching live. If you can do me a favor, hit the like button. Maybe share this video. Maybe leave a comment down the road. Maybe come to Resellers Roundtable and say, hey, guys, I really like this vibe, right? Nobody's trying to sell anybody anything, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just normal people here doing this. But there's problems out there. There's a lot of problems out there. And, if you can take away one thing tonight, when we talk about the vintage, you should really, truly look at that and not ignore that and get into that market because there's some serious money in it. And something that I've done, dude, I got kicked off of a website because I made YouTube videos from a major T-shirt community. They booted me from 5 years ago when I was talking about make money with vintage T-shirts. They booted me out of their community. Not allowed in that community anymore. Most people know who this community is. They booted me. They were scared, right? I sat there 5 years ago on my couch. I told my daughter, film me. To show people how to make money with selling clothing on eBay. I got nothing to hide. I got nothing to lie to you, right? The stuff's there. The magic's there. You got to go freaking run and do it, man. All right, we're going to be getting close to ending this, guys, because I know it's been a little lengthy here. I got two more things. There's one more question I want to answer, and then I want to talk about this topic here because I think that's important because Amazon obviously is an awesome opportunity. What are you guys doing to gear up for Q4? I mean, are you gearing up now? Are you maybe looking at this in a month from now? Nagel, can you talk about Amazon and
yeah?
Can you still make money with Amazon?
Yeah, you can make a lot of money on Amazon. I just did another big shipment today, talking about that time management and everything. I did not want to put together a shipment, but I did because I needed to. I sent out 135 different SKUs this morning, and, just a lot of different stuff from electronics to VHS tapes and CDs, Blu-rays, cordless phones, alarm clocks, graphing calculators, and Polaroid cameras. So that stuff always sells, and Q4 is my favorite time because you can adjust the price accordingly and make even more money on some of those electronics. So yeah, I'm definitely gearing up for it. I have a few thousand SKUs in my store right now that are available and ready to go. I got this big order done, and then I did another one this afternoon of 35 SKUs that went out. Um, I'm planning on doing maybe 1 to 2 shipments a week now up until Q4. Once I get back from Vegas at the end of August. So September, October, I'll be doing 1 to 2 shipments a week.
Yeah,
I've
and
been
then
trying.
you grab all types of stuff, dude. I mean, you go from retail arbitrage to almost like the VHS king, right? But again, all that stuff.
I'm so excited about Vegas.
Yeah.
What's that?
No, I was just saying, dude. I mean, you're one of these guys, like you're like the sleeper cell when it comes to Amazon. You know, I mean, you start getting the stuff, and we all see the power of Amazon, right? We see how this makes us money, but you wouldn't think that sending all this crap in, because sometimes it's crap, right? It's freaking crap. But it's
Surprised by some of the cordless phones that are discontinued, how much money I make off of them. I pick them up for $3-4 a piece, and I get $150 to $200 for the cordless phone set. I mean, it's ridiculous. I test everything. My reputation is king on there, and I won't allow my reputation to be jacked up because I sent something in untested. So I'm sure about everything. I actually had to throw really expensive tape recorder to the side today because the flap on the door broke off. So, I mean, I'm not going to send that in and, fucking scotch tape it. Be like, oh, it works. It works.
No, better yet, you describe it as, hey, guys, the door's broken. I threw a couple pieces of scotch tape on it. It's A-OK now. Because there's people doing that, dude. And honestly, some of the people that are doing that, they're on YouTube here selling paid programs, right? It's crazy.
I mean, if you check my Amazon account, I've been on there for probably 3 or 4 years now. I have 100% feedback and 5 stars, and that's for lifetime. And I'm not willing to change that for anybody. So, you know, I take what I do very seriously, and I think everybody should, and put pride into their work, because it's not a get-rich-quick type deal. It's, you know, you go out and find the stuff, you test it, you make sure it works, you clean it up, and then you send it in and make money kind of deal.
Totally. Yeah, I had the same issue with a camcorder. There's great money in camcorders on Amazon. This one was about $340. I got a great deal on it, and I tested it, and the CCD on it's bad, and I was bummed. But I didn't try to cheat the system. I didn't try to say, oh, let me pass this one on to some Yahoo, dude. No, I just threw it in a pile, and that pile is called selling stuff on eBay. Broken, right? And that's just the reality of it. I'm not going to try to pull something off on somebody on Amazon, dude, because Amazon's that important to me. And I think, you know, testing things thoroughly. I got a video coming out hopefully pretty soon about just learning how to test things, right? Investing in products, chargers, media, even as basic as a Polaroid camera, right? Knowing how to test these things. You know, investing in yourself and your business so you can test things appropriately. How many people sell freaking VHS DVD combos that don't work? They even put in a listing. Plugged it in, seemed like it powered up just fine. Untested. Come on. You expect people to drop $200 on your DVD combo and you didn't want to even test it? Not the business I want to run. Cody, what's your thoughts, dude, for and Amazon? And maybe your experience from last year. What's your thoughts with Amazon in general, dude?
I love Amazon. It's a big powerhouse. If you have money, you have capital, you have feasible money, fluid money, you should definitely be looking into products that you can sell in there. Definitely do your research. Don't just go out there and blindly buy clearance items, because the masses are doing the same thing. For Q4, I love it. Last year I did pretty well. That was my second fourth quarter. This is going to be going on my third. I am trying to now, this month and going into fourth quarter, you know, I'm trying to refocus my attention onto Amazon. This is the slow period of sales and everywhere in the market, especially eBay, Etsy. You know, if I could pump more stuff into my Amazon store now, that would be very well to help make up the difference in sales that I could be missing on eBay and Etsy. Yeah, I love Amazon.
Heck yeah, dude. Hey guys, I'm posting this link here again, and I'll post it if you're watching the replay. You know, subscribe to Cody. This he's 20 years old. He's got the power now. He's got this power to make all this money down the road, right? And as somebody, no joke, you've listened to an hour and a half him talk, go subscribe to him, watch what's rolling out in the future, see what he's done in the past. Do me that favor, if you like what I've ever done for you guys on the channel. Cody is no joke, right? He's part of our inner core of a lot of things, and just a great, awesome guy. And Cody, I appreciate you being on here, man, for sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Before we end this, you guys, I've got a couple more things. I know I didn't get to a lot of your questions. I did write down some of them. We'll address those in future shows here. We're just pushing some serious time limit on this, and you know, like I say before, I mean, these hangouts. We're not going to just be talking for 6 hours just about nothing, right? I mean, we want to deliver some content to you guys, some reality to all this, and stuff that's going to help you make money down the road. Before I get into this question that I'm going to talk about, Mike, I'm going to throw this to you, dude, and Cody, you guys talk about this while I step out of the room for a minute. A lot of people think about scaling up, and a lot of people think, oh my God, I got to have an employee, I got to have this big warehouse, I got to do all these things. I want to hear, and I think the audience wants to hear, is this something on your guys' minds where you might say to yourself, dude, I want to scale, I'm waiting to, you know, I need a helper, somebody that can list this stuff for me. Is this something that you guys are going to approach down the road, maybe 2016, 2017, or is this something where you're saying, dude, I don't need anybody, dude, I'm going to be Captain America, bro. I'm just going to do it all by myself, right? So if Mike Nagel and you know Cody, you guys can talk about that for a minute, dude, I'd really appreciate that.
All right.
I'm gonna go first. I think there's benefits in being a solopreneur. I know there is certain aspects of controlling a business that you'll enjoy, and there's other aspects that you'll not enjoy. There's certain levels that you're going to get to, though, whenever as you're working for yourself, that you realize that, you know, I do need a helper. There is room for me to scale up. Once you get to that point, I think it's important in realizing that, and then maybe going out there and hiring someone, maybe a friend, or put an ad out there. I'm not personally at that level, but I know there are setbacks of being a solopreneur.
Absolutely. I mean, the only thing, like, I think I can still handle everything right now. I mean, obviously, it would be nice to have someone help me ship stuff out or prep, like, Amazon shipments. The only thing I need someone for is to help me take photographs, because there's just so much stuff. So that may be the one thing that I look into, is maybe have my cousin come up here and take some pictures. But other than that, I can pretty much handle everything else on my own.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the day-to-day aspects, I think I've got it down, basically. After you do it for so long, you understand your process of getting items, either prepping them for Amazon or taking pictures for eBay and Etsy and other avenues, and you really just get down that process. But there are times when I do feel like I could use some help.
I think I have so many pieces out here. I'm not going to be able to get through them all by myself anyway, so I have to bring someone in to take some pictures.
Yeah, that would definitely, if you could get it to the point wherever you could just go out there and source items, I think that's an idea, I guess that'd be one of the more picture-perfect ways to run this, is just go out there and source all the time, just because I think that's what everyone enjoys doing, is sourcing and getting the paycheck, getting paid. No one likes doing grunge work.
And I mean, with where I'm at right now, it makes no sense to get a warehouse. It makes no sense to hire full-time employees. You have to think about it like this. If you're scaling up, you have to have a really good business plan in place, because there's people who buy these gigantic warehouses and get skids of pallets of returns and all this, and they end up losing their Amazon store because of the bad returns that they send in as new. And then, you know, you can't pay your bills because you get no Amazon money. Can't pay your employees. You lose your warehouse, and then your business goes kaput.
You're done.
You need to, if you want to scale up, you really need to come up with a really good business plan and have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted before you make that step, because it's a lot of commitment, not only with your time but with your money.
No doubt. So let me get into this question here because, well, I hate to exclude you guys, but have any of you guys had an employee or a helper or anybody that helped you with your business with reselling? Nagel? Ever
What was
hired
that?
somebody out? Yeah, have you ever had somebody come and help you with your reselling business?
Yeah, I've had people come and take pictures. I hate taking pictures, but I know I have to do it. But I mean, if I can get other stuff done while someone else is taking pictures, a couple hours out of the day, it makes a big difference in how much I'm able to get done.
And what was your experience with that? I mean, you obviously you spoke volumes here, saying you got more things done, but now you're in Cleveland. I mean, do you have somebody helping you now? I mean,
Yeah,
I want to dive into this because there was an excellent question by James that I really want to address tonight, and I really want to bring it home with that.
yeah. I was talking to my cousin, and she's looking for work, and she lives close, so she can come over here a couple hours a day and take pictures. I have someone set up, and it's probably going to start when I get back. So, I mean, it's not too difficult because if you're a sole proprietorship and you're doing everything and you're the one who's in charge of taking pictures, listing, finding and sourcing, I mean, there's only so many hours in a day, and taking pictures is a pain in the ass and time consuming.
Hey, dude, I agree. I mean, let me get to this question so we can nail on this. So James, who's at Resellers Roundtable, very predominant member of Resellers Roundtable, and I really appreciate you, James. Um, he had an honest question, and I want to address this tonight. He says, I want to hire someone to help with listings, photos, etc. What's the best way to make the most of the time they spend on the clock? What's the best way to pay them? Is there a way to keep personal information such as finances to a minimum when they list under your account? I have so many questions on this particular topic, I don't know where to start. Thanks for your input on this topic. Okay. All right. So somebody like myself, I've had employees, right? I had a warehouse in Illinois. I had two warehouses in Illinois, my height, and I had about 11 employees at one given moment in time. And it wasn't an easy road. I'll just say this right now. But what I knew early on was the fact that I'm only one person, right? And we all know we can only list so much, especially when it comes to the eBay game, right? The Amazon game's a lot easier. You can start throwing things in boxes, doing whatever. But it's the eBay, the Etsy. There's a lot of hard work that goes into that. And for me, I started with in my house, right? I started grabbing neighbors. I literally, dude, we'd be at a party one night, or kids would be playing next door, and I'm like, dude, you want to make an extra $100 tonight? Come on over, dude. Listen to this stuff. That's why I started. So it wasn't an employee. It was just like, hey, can somebody help me, dude? I could pay you. And it went from that to actually getting employees. And dealing with employees is no joke, right? I mean, I would say my first 6 months in business under the Voodoo Vintage in Cary, Illinois, we went through 6 people. It got so crazy that I actually hired the kid, the nephew of the building owner, the guy that I leased the building from. He goes, oh, my kid would love this. I'm like, oh, cool, man. Get him over here, dude. The kid didn't want to work. The kid was staring at his cell phone the whole time, right? And then, his first day of work, he left. And then, his grandpa came in. His grandpa was this big baller in Cary, right? Freaking got all the money. How did my nephew do? I go, dude, he's a waste of space. And he looked at me and goes, are you being serious? I said, I'm being dead serious with you, dude. I said, but, just being honest with you. I mean, if you want me to move out of this building, that's fine. Right? And he goes, well, let me talk to him. I said, no. I said, well, let's see what he does. And there's just an added stress to this all, guys. I mean, when you try to scale your business, especially if you're even considering a reselling business, okay? Me personally right now, I would not scale any of my reselling business unless I had something else I was doing outside of reselling, right? Honestly, I think it's spending a lot of money. I mean, there's people on YouTube here. They have warehouses. They're almost like pawn shops, right? Pawn stars. They're more entertainment. And you watch these people, and you're like, oh my God, dude, Well, it's so-and-so, dude. He's got this huge warehouse full of things and employees and people running around. The problem is he's not selling things locally. That's the problem, right? You really got to know what you're doing. And when you start tackling employees, okay, you got to understand, dude, now your responsibility. Now, if you're paying them on the table, hey, Billy, Bob, dude, I'll pay you today. But I can't guarantee I'll pay you tomorrow, right? There's a big difference between running a true business and running a side operation of just hustling, right, based on what you got. And I would say this to anybody looking to hire somebody, you need to master your skill, your art. So if you've only been doing this for 3 months, 6 months, a year, I think you really need to spend the time in the trenches first and see how much you can do individually, right, before you go out and hire anybody else. And then when you're at that point, you know, you have to have capital. You have to have money in the bank. You have to go, wait a minute, dude, if I'm going to take on this responsibility and hire this person, meaning I'm going to W-2 them, right, I'm going to tax you, bro. Bro, don't tax me. Dude, right? Then you take that responsibility. You better have the money to pay them every week, especially during the slow times, dude. You can't treat people like that. You can't treat people like, oh, dude, I'll hire you today, but, oh, God, next week, dude, we didn't sell anything. For 3 weeks, I can't pay you, bro. That's no way to run a business, right? And I think a lot of people are sitting here going, their eyes are open thinking, dude, the warehouse is the answer, the buy-sell trade, let me open up one in my town. Dude, that's just a fucking, dude, it's a dream, people. It's a dream, and if you ever get there one day, that's amazing. But at the end of the day, it's a dream. And I don't think if you keep messing with this dream, it's even feasible for you, because you could do a lot more with your money outside of this reselling world, right? So I know I'm ranting about this, guys, right? But I'm trying to really make the point clear, right? Do what you can first and run this business where you know it inside and out. And when you're willing to hire somebody, right, you have the money, the commitment to do this. And let them come in there and do the dirty work. Because this is the dirty work, dude. Who wants to list shit on eBay, dude? Who wants to throw things in boxes? Who wants to package it up?
Not me.
Yeah, nobody does. But at the end of the day, you got to master that art. You got to be the boss. Okay, I'm telling you this right now, dude. You have to be the freaking boss, right? And when you become boss, that becomes a reality, right? Because now people are counting on you. Families are counting on you, right? When I first started doing that, guys, right? I went on the whim. I was the guy, dude. I went on the whim, like, dude, I'm gonna roll, dude. We did $20K this month. Let's roll. You know what happened when I couldn't pay them? Worst thing in the world. Worst thing in the world. And I've never sugarcoated anything here on YouTube, but the point is this. Build your business to the way you want it, because you can legitimately pull in 6 figures easily by yourself in this business, and you don't need an employee, okay? And if you're thinking, dude, that's not enough for me, I need to scale up, and you know what? Do it the right way, and make sure your ducks are in line, and make sure you've got stuff going through, right? We talked about tonight, adapting, right? Adapting to things, adapting to, you know, when the product goes south, right? I mean, we see all of this, guys. We see all of this. It's almost like you can't decide if it's entertainment or education that's popping out here on YouTube or Facebook land. It's humble brags, Nagel. It's brags. It's ballers, dude. I mean, there's people talking about private label, dude. And you watch their videos, they're pumping a Ferrari. They're coming out like, oh shit, right? I mean, it's like it's sick to think this way.
Or they got the cool house in the Hollywood Hills and all that bullshit.
Yeah, dude, they're rolling in, dude. I mean, the problem is this, though, is that you have to prove to yourself that you can make money. If you can prove to yourself that you can pull in 6 figures, okay, and I'm going to say this very bluntly, you can do this, 6 figures by yourself, if you know what you're doing, right? If you're looking to expand and understand how that takes. That's a big break. That's a big difference, because that's night and day. I've watched 9 people, honest to God, try that mentality, going in and getting a warehouse, getting employees. They're in the poorhouse now. They don't even resell. Same thing with people going, oh, I'll just start a thrift shop. Poorhouse. Okay? Don't look at this thing and do, maybe I got to scale it up. If you're only making 30, 40 grand a year, yes, you got to figure a way to scale up. Find better products, find bigger margins. All right? But if you think warehousing and hiring employees is scaling up, dude, you're just, you know, you're listening to too much Gary Vee. I'll just say it. Yeah? And, you know, enough of the rant here, but what I'm saying is, man, prove to yourself first. Go create your first year making 6 figures by yourself. When you realize you could do that, which I know you can, do it, conquer that, and then say to yourself, dude, do I want to get to this next level? You might be happy to say, dude, I'm okay with 100K. That's 100K, people. $100,000 a year, right? Most people in this country are making less than $30,000 a year, running around playing fucking Pokemon Go, okay? But you do what you got to do, right? At the end of the day, I'm happy to be back on here on YouTube, these live shows. I really appreciate Mike Nagel and Cody being a part of this. Appreciate you guys watching live. You know, we just do things on our pace. You know, and obviously, you know, I talk about whatever I want to talk about. But James, that was a great question. I think that you know, the scalability. There's ways to scale about it. We're going to talk about that down the road here, but you know, let's get you to a level where you're making money. Let's get you to where you can compound money, dude. Right? Let's get you where you got 100K in the bank, dude. Because when you start having this money, or you're stockpiling silver, dude, the last thing you're gonna think about is, oh, let me go hire Chuck down the road, right? You might be looking at real estate. You might be going, dude, let me go flip this Corvette, dude. $7,000 right now at the auction, dude. That's a $25,000 Corvette, right? That's scaling, dude. Scaling is a bigger ticket item. There's a guy in Resellers Roundtable, Kev. I'm not gonna throw his name out there. We all know who this guy is. This guy sells Bibles for $50,000, people, right? This guy's a hustler. You know what I'm talking about, Nagel?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
The guy rolls, guys, and it's not a simple. This concept is not difficult. You just got to understand that you can do it by yourself and make a lot of money doing this. But for you to think, oh my God, I'm gonna create this warehouse and just have these slaves come in and do all your listings and do all this, dude, that's peanuts. Peanuts. Trust me, peanuts to what's really happening in the real world.
Well, maybe I like peanuts.
Swallow.
Maybe I like peanuts. I like baseball, okay? That's how I equate it.
Hey, no, but you know what, dude? Nagel, okay, here's the perfect question. If 2017 was Nagel makes $80,000 a year, but pays $30,000 to an employee, would you do it?
Pay $30,000 to who?
Next 2017, you're gonna make $80,000.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be paying somebody $30,000 to do grunt work. Would you do
that's
it?
not gonna happen. I'm not paying anybody $30,000 to do this. I'm talking 2 hours a day coming in and taking pictures.
Yeah. I'm just saying this, dude. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is just move at your pace. You're your own train, dude, right? And you control how fast the train goes. Don't get your head overinflated with these ideas because you watch somebody or you heard somebody do this. You know
But you told me I need to do it.
Dude, I came from having a warehouse with employees in the middle of the freaking desert, and I'm better off. So that should tell you right then and there.
Hey,
right? I'm not all the whole end all be all. I'm
gonna have one of those when I go to Vegas next month because I'm gonna have like a 2,000 square foot warehouse and a couple people I have to manage because I'm taking over a business for a month while someone goes on vacation. So
hey,
it's one of the 7-figure eBay companies that I actually started. So yeah, I get to go and be in control for a little while.
We can talk about this. This could be a whole dedicated like hour-long freaking show, right, about this, and people are gonna have different opinions, and you know, dude, because my system don't, right? I mean, I'm just telling you my experience. This is all that we can ever do here. All right, so at the end of the day, the moral of the story is, be your pace, be on your train, and you can speed up that train if you want to go faster. But when you speed up that train, you want to go faster. You want to get people involved. Then you have this tax liability and a lot of these things going on. You really need to think about that, because you know what? If you say to yourself right now, dude, 100,000 isn't enough to make you live comfortably, then what is going to make you live comfortably? Is it going to be 500,000? Of course, we're all sitting there going, dude, oh, I want all the fucking money, dude. I want the Bentley, right? But the question is this: what is going to make you happy? Because when you start dabbling in these other things, it's not easy. Anyway, Cody, dude, appreciate you being on here, dude, for sure. Appreciate you guys watching. Like, if you find this stuff useful, us babbling and talking, appreciate if you hit the like button. I'm going to give you, Cody, the final word, and Nagel, and then we're going to get off the air here. So, Cody, what do you got to say to the people?
Yeah, thank you to all the new subscribers, and thanks for Mike for shouting me out. I really enjoyed this time with all y'all. Just have fun talking to like-minded people and growing similar interests together. Thanks for coming out tonight, guys. I appreciate it.
Cool. Appreciate you, Cody, jumping on for sure. Hopefully we'll have you on some more. Nagel, I know you brought the rags, dude, but
A new band all the way from Cleveland. No, but I want to thank you, Mike, for having me on. We always have a good time when we do these, and everybody who's watching right now, make sure to join Resellers Roundtable on Facebook. It's free. Okay? So that's all I have.
yeah, just to reiterate that, guys, I appreciated this. This is it's not easy being this content creator on this and making videos and going live and talking about things. There's a lot of other things going on in the world, and to have the show come back here and talk, with Nagel and Cody and Arthur, it was pretty fun. It was amazing. I had a blast doing this. I want to continue doing more of this, and but I'm not, I need support. So I need you to tell us, hey man, this was awesome, man. Go on the Resellers Roundtable and just post away. Tell the world about it, because we've been doing this now, guys, for many years. And sometimes everybody needs like a little pat in the back at times. And but I appreciate all of you guys that are watching this live here tonight. I'm gonna end with this, guys. It's really gonna sum up tonight's evening. It's a saying, and when I'm done saying it, you might know who it is, but maybe you don't. But you can Google it. Who is more foolish, the fool or the fool that follows him? Thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. Next time we're out of here. Peace.